Hello, everyone. Good morning. We will get everyone into the webinar, and we will start here in just a minute or two. Good morning, everyone. We'll give everyone another minute, and then we'll get started. All right, let's get started. Well, good morning. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join today's webinar. I'm Karen Strakowski. I'm the Director of Client Success here at Wine Chipping. And today's webinar, we're going to focus on what we brought into Awesome Client Portal in April. So it was a busy April. There's a lot to cover today. So let's get going. Just as a reminder, we are recording our session, and you will receive an email with a copy of the recording within 1 day. Please do take the time to ask questions. I love questions. It keeps me on my toes. I want to make sure that I'm presenting the information in a clear, concise manner. So please use the question section in the platform for you. So today's agenda, I'm going to review what we did in April. I'll do a demo, and we'll do some questions and feedback. So we had look at all those features here. There's a lot here. I'm going to be reviewing future order reservations, our inventory reservations, our rule center reports. If you use just in time as a service, we made some improvements there. Also changed how and where, we changed where split order was, I think, last month, and now we've even improved the capacity and capability to split order. So let's get started. So the first pretty big change here is under your account preferences, you will see a new, and this is again, account preferences can be changed and edited by admins. But under your account preferences, you'll see a new thing. It's at the very bottom. It's called future order exceptions. Now, for most of our clients here, the default that we have here is set to 1 year. And if you're saying to yourself, what the heck are you talking about? Future order exceptions. I've said the same thing. So, so let me just take a moment to break it down. Essentially, what we're doing here is we do have some people who send us really high future dated orders into our system, right? So they're sending things that maybe they sell futures like 2 years out, but they want to have that recorded into the system and get the order in. And so it might be future dated, 2 years ahead of time. But it could be a little annoying to you to see that it has a inventory exception in Action Center, because of course you don't have the inventory, you haven't bottled it yet. So we designed a way for you can decide how those future dated orders work. So we defaulted. Most people, you know, don't send us orders more than a year in advance. And if that's the case, the default's going to work for you. And then as long as your order is within 1 year of the date, and you know, the system will look for your inventory, and if you're short on inventory, it will create an item or an inventory exception in Action Center. However, if you want it to be less time, you can do that. If you want it to be more time, you can do that. So, you know, you can set a time period now and really customize how those orders move through our system when you'll see an inventory exception for something. What happens is that those future dated orders will be moved into open orders, and they'll be in a state called queued publishing. And then 14 days before the requested ship date, the system's going to look to make sure that you have the inventory there. And if it does, then it will just, you know, stay where it's at and it will publish. And if it doesn't, it will go into an exception in Action Center. Which brings me more to inventory exceptions. So this was kind of a big thing that we did here. So what we did is in the fall of last year, we released our inventory exceptions, like an improved way of managing inventory in our system, so that orders that have an inventory hold are held in the Action Center. And but we released it right in the middle of our busiest time of year. And so it was an optional opt-in way of having ACP look at inventory. So in the old system, it didn't really start to look for any kind of inventory issues until it went into the warehouse management system. What we have done is with our new inventory system, and now everyone has this now. So, you know, everyone is in. We moved everyone into this new system in April. So you might have seen a little bit of difference in how, you know, orders are going on hold in Action Center because of that. What it does is by moving all inventory looking at an Action Center, it removes that kind of concept of soft holds, right? It also removes the issues that we had with overcounting inventory when we were doing order edits, because, you know, the system had multiple systems to look at. And it also just really overall will improve the warehouse management system and how it syncs back to Awesome Client Portal. It's really, we did this because it's a better reservation and it's really closer to, you know, FIFO, which is essentially, it's not first in, first out, but really first in, first reserved, right? So, you know, I did create a little pro tip here, right? So if you wanted to know whenever you had an order go on an inventory hold, it's a good idea to turn on the inventory exceptions notifications that are available to you, or the daily summary. What we allowed you to do too in this new enhanced inventory system is, you know, we've allowed you to make a decision, and this is for admin users, that admin users can choose to force reserve product from a different order. So I'm going to take a step back. So what it does is, let's say you have 50 bottles of product, and you have we have you know, orders that require 51 bottles. So the order number that has, you know, order 51, you need that order to go out now. But order, you know, number 42, right, has some future ship date down the way, but it's been holding that inventory. But you need order 51 to ship now. What you can do is you can go into order 51 and say, I want to force reserve this order to ship now. And what it's going to do is it's going to take order 51, and it's going to make it number order 1. And then it's going to push everything down the line. So what was order 50 now is 51. So you can't be like too picky and like which order you're stealing from in order to do that, but you can choose to, hey, this order needs to ship now, and then you can then make sure that you bring inventory in to clear that hold for what was order 51. And I will demo that when we're in the product. Also, with our new inventory system, you have the ability to create future reservations. So what this does, it allows you to hold back a certain amount of inventory so that none of that inventory can be applied to any orders coming into the system. It will show that that inventory is held in the reserved column for that item. And you can't pull inventory from a future reservation when you do force reserve, right? It's a hard hold. Nothing can touch that inventory until you release it from future reservations. And again, I'll show you how to do that when we do the demo. So here's just some scenarios so you can understand, right? Because, you know, with this new inventory system, it can be pretty complex, right? You can have, you know, orders, you know, with different priority levels that are on an inventory hold, right? So let's just walk through. I'm going to read the scenario, right? So an order can contain multiple items that have insufficient inventory, which results in those lines having different priority in the reservation hierarchy. So order number 123 is imported at 12 p.m. On September 5th with items X and Y. Both items have insufficient inventory to reserve and ship. Item X is 10th on the priority line to be reserved, and item Y is 3rd. You've only brought in enough inventory to reserve item Y. The order will still be in exception until item X is reserved. However, you can force reserve. So you can force reserve the order, which puts item X and item Y at the top of the reservation hierarchy. And then again, like I said before, it'll make it first and it will steal inventory from the lowest line, you know, in the reservation. Force reserve can take reservations from an order in open orders. And again, you cannot be choosing and choose which one it's stealing from. Okay, so I mentioned a little bit about queued publishing. This is another way for us to try and be more strategic and just reduce the pressure that's happening on our warehouse management system. So I want us to like all think about our warehouse management system as like orders are ready to ship, and really the warehouse doesn't need to be looking at any order data that is farther than 2 weeks. We've decided 2 weeks ahead of time. So what that does is once an order has a future ship date of a date that's greater than 14 days before the requested ship date, it's going to be in a state of queued publishing in open orders. And then it will become published once it gets to that 14 days. This allows for greater flexibility when you're doing a lot of order edits, that it's still hanging out. It's almost like it's in Action Center in terms of like the fact that it hasn't been published to the warehouse management system. And so it allows you to make edits easier. And it just won't put all of this pressure on system A talking to system B that's talking back to system A, right? It can take a long time to do those order edits when you're within that 14 business day rule. So if the order has published in open orders and you're making a lot of order edits, that can be a little frustrating. I literally got an email last night about it, and you know, they were frustrated because they were changing requested ship date of their club 100 orders at a time, and it was taking a really long time to update because it was talking to multiple systems. So, the best bet is don't put anything into open orders until you feel like it's good to go. And, hopefully you're not having to make a lot of order edits when it's in open orders for the 14 days, because it can take a while. So you just have to have a lot of patience if you're going to be making a lot of order edits when they're in open orders within that 14-day period. We are continuously improving and adding more and more functionality to our Rule Center, right? So right now, Rule Center is all about fulfillment hold rules. And before, right, it was used to just be, right, it's grown over the last 2.5 years that we've been doing this together, right? Because fulfillment holds was practically one of the first things that we gave you in Awesome Client Portal as a way to control your orders from the warehouse touching them. And it's grown, right? At first it was just a fulfillment hold, and then just across the board. And then we put in the timer for the fulfillment hold. And then we put on the being able to add it by order pool. So different rules for going on hold if it's a club order versus a retail order versus a return to winery order. And now we've again taken it to another level where we've added conditions, right? So if this example we see fulfillment hold rule is the requested ship date is within this range, right? Then, and it has this line item on it, put it on a temporary fulfillment hold for 1 hour, right? You can be really precise about targeting your orders. So, and so it has this logic, so, and I'll show you all the different logic rules that are available to you to be able to set really precise conditions around the fulfillment holds. And this will take us to that later next step where we're able to create different order rules. If an order is this, do this to it. I'm really excited about this new feature. So I was very frustrated with how the report library used to look. It was just a lot of information there, and there's a lot of scrolling through. We have now improved the way the structure works in the library. And even better, you can highlight now and favorite your favorite reports that you'll then be able to just click on your favorite and see the reports that you like to use all the time. Really like that. And then, of course, we've added a lot of new reports here. So I'm going to quickly just run through what they are here now. But, there is a knowledge base that spells all this out too. But you can see here we have the inventory reconciliation report now that allows you to view stuff, inventory in case quantities, not just bottles. And this is really helpful for clients that do a lot of omni-channel with us, so using us for wholesale or direct to trade. We also have the storage lot roll-up report. And if you are using us for lot tracking, this is your report. We now have the order reservations report. So this is really important. Everybody here has moved into this new inventory, the way ACP looks at inventory. And what that is really, this is going to be your report to really be able to see any orders that are on an inventory hold. This is really going to replace that orders on hold report. It still lives in the report library today, but we will be retiring it. We also have the aggregated back orders report. And this report was generated to really help simplify your PO creation for orders that are on an inventory hold. So if you run this report, it's going to give you a really simple UI that you're able to use the copy and paste features from the report to be able to bulk add those products into a PO. And then we have the pack size report, and this really just helps you see the big picture of all the different packs that you sell over time. If you use our order import feature, or if you use batch edit file upload, you will notice that the UI has changed, right? It was we had, this new UI, and then for a little while, we had the old UI there, so it was called flat file. But this new UI is really an improved way to upload orders. What's been improved is that the columns are pre-mapped. There's some AI assistance to map columns with different verbiage. The file memory is better, and it reduces the file upload to a few seconds. So really helpful feature here. The old system could have been a little complicated if you weren't used to doing a lot of importing with the mapping features that existed and whatnot. So this is here to simplify your process. If you are a just-in-time client with wine shipping, and if I'm saying those words and you don't know what I'm talking about, and you're curious, we have a great knowledge base FAQ, what is just-in-time? But just-in-time is a service that wine shipping has launched that allows you to use us to ship product that you don't store at wine shipping. And so if that's something you're interested in, please email service and let us know. Get curious, read the knowledge base so you can learn more about it. But we've improved the just-in-time order creation feature. So what this allows to do is you can select if the package is pre-packed or needs to be packed. And you will see here that, change the packing type right over here, orders with selected pre-packed or not. So that allows you to be able to edit that. And is your order coming here where you packed it on the warehouse, or do you want wine shipping to pack those bottles for you? We also have the ability to visually see now whether or not wine shipping is going to be picking up that package from when we come to your location to pick up your just-in-time orders, or will you be dropping it off? So you now have the ability to see that. And then we have the ability now, so if an order comes through and it's retail or club in our system, you can manually edit the order channel to a just-in-time order now. And then this was a really big change, right? So split order quantity. This was a little bit of a gap in terms of our just-in-time program. We've had split order, for years, but split order allowed you to split up to the level of the SKU, but not if it had, 3 bottles of one SKU and 2 bottles of another SKU, and you wanted to split out 1 bottle of one SKU and 1 bottle of another SKU. So this allows you now to split your orders down to the SKU level by quantity. And then pro tip, right, for splitting orders when it comes to just-in-time, right? So just-in-time orders, you can only have 12 750 milliliter bottles per package, and each package needs to have its own unique barcode. And so this allows you to be able to use the sort by number of bottles and the order channel to be able to find those orders, right? The 14 bottles, well, you're going to need to split that out to have a package of 12 and a package of 2. We have added improved a My Delivery address to your address. What we have done is we have put your address that we have on file and associated it to My Delivery, right? So you are now able to do for those return to winery, simplify your return to winery, choose the address book, and choose My Delivery, and it will auto-populate your delivery address. And then we do have some new permit requirements, right? So some laws have changed. The state of Maine and Wisconsin have been added to our required permit states that we need to have your permit on file for. So please update those permits as soon as possible, or your orders will end up going on a permit hold until we have that. Maine has fully updated their permit structure and reissued a whole new permit number to all active permits. So if you aren't aware of this, you'll need to find your new permit number, and you can do so on the Maine's website. We have added some more functionality to the Rule Center for being able to fulfill all by order type. So instead of just fulfill all, right, for everything that's on a fulfillment hold in our thing, you can now be strategic through the Rule Center to be able to, push your return to winery and your wholesale orders, right, and everything else is still on a fulfillment hold. So you can be really strategic by fulfilling orders through the Rule Center. And then this is a little bit disappointing, I won't lie, but we did this because your customer's experience was extremely disappointing. And that is that UPS has changed how their API for hold at locations is being structured, and they discontinued our ability to access their API to do a redirect to a pickup location. So if your package is shipping UPS and you need to redirect to a pickup location, that functionality was now grayed out in the UI for the Redirect for Awesome Client Portal. And you can use the change address option to redirect to a pickup location, but one, it doesn't guarantee success, and UPS's pickup locations, it will result in a fee for your customers to pay upon pickup. So that needs to be clearly stated to your customer before you go through that process of redirecting to a pickup location. What doesn't get charged is if your customer does it through the UPS My Choice account. They can redirect to a pickup location through their UPS My Choice account. All right, time for the demo. Awesome. Okay. So let's start with inventory reservations. So, let's come over here to account settings. Oh, okay. And it's not hanging out over here. So let me go over to my demo and go here. And I'm missing the rule here. Okay, I'm gonna call Amanda in. Am I missing something, Amanda?
The notification, or
yeah, the notification, or the under. Oh, I'm in notifications. See, yeah, I did it wrong. Thank you. Thank you for keeping me real here. So it's under preferences, user management. Yep. I chose
account preferences at the top.
Preferences. Thank you for keeping me honest. Thank you. Okay. Future order exceptions. This is where you can decide down over here if you want your orders to go into an order exception for 1 year, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? 6 months. So you can set a time as to how far in advance you want those future dated orders to be into an exception, or if you just always want it to go into an exception. Thank you for keeping me honest, Amanda. Appreciate you. Okay, the next is, let's go over here to open orders. So I created an order this morning, right? Notice here that the status here is queued publishing. And it's queued publishing because we have that 1 year setting under account preferences, but here, notice here that the requested ship date is in 2026. So it's going to be hanging out here until, you know, 1 year before the requested ship date. And then at that time, the system's going to look for whether or not you have the right amount of inventory. And if it doesn't, it will go into an exception over here in Action Center. Let's take another look here. So here's an example that I also set up here. So let's take this for a SKU. So this is going to show you force reserve. I'm going to copy this SKU over here. Okay. We see that both of these orders have this SKU on it. This one is on a fulfillment hold, right? And it's future dated. Requested ship date is May 29th. This one is on a needs action because we're sold out of it, right? So if we come over here, it's going to show us that this SKU has been oversold by 1 bottle, right? So we have on hand or back ordered right here, 13. And we are going to come back over here and we are going to say, well, I want to take this, I'm going to steal bottles from this order to apply to this one. So I'm going to open up this order. And now you see you have the ability to steal the wine. So I'm going to force reserve it. And it's going to take from the other order. And then this order will be good to go. So it's processing right now. It's not instantaneous. It's doing its little magic. And we'll come out of over there. And then we have a fulfillment hold on it. And we are going to be able to now come over here and fulfill the order. And it will then move into open orders. And it's ready to go. So that is how you force publish something. All right, now let's talk about future reservations. So all bonuses, right, of this new inventory system. So if you come over here to inventory and you can click here to this tab, future reservations. This again allows you to hold back a certain amount of SKUs. So right now it's pretty basic, right? So you just create a future reservation. I'm going to do this special bottle here for my fall club to make sure that I have. So I'm going to call this Fall Club 2025. I'm going to say it's going to come from Napa, and I'm going to choose this SKU. And then now I'm going to tell it how many bottles I want to have. So it looks like, can I copy and paste that? Yeah, it looks like I can. So let's do 670. And then I'm going to create the future reservation. And now we have reserved 670. And so this SKU will now show under the reservations page. That we have held back. It's in the reserve column over here. Okay, so future reservation. Let's go to reports. So reports and Insa, our report library hangs out over here right now, right? So we have separated things. So inventory and items is the first thing you're going to see. Hyperclick to the orders. This is going to show you the different orders reports, different shipment reports. And you have the ability to highlight your favorite reports. So for me, right, I'm like, yeah, I like the unshipped orders report. And I want to have the aggregated report over here. So I have highlighted 2 my favorite reports. And so now you can see under my favorites, notice favorites showed up here, that those would be here. So you don't have to be scrolling around for your reports that you like to use the most. Let's go over to the order import. this is just, it's a real simple, right? It's just the upload file button is right over here. And same over here, upload file. So you export and do a batch edit. Okay, so creating a just-in-time order. Okay, so that's really simple to do. So we're just going to create an order just in time. Remember, each order needs to be unique. Our transport method, this is a new feature, right? It's asking you, is wine shipping coming to your winery to pick up? And if you are a just-in-time customer, you have a regular pickup day schedule. So if that's it, simply let us know. We're picking it up on our pickup day, and then you're going to let us know. Again, this is a new field. Are you going to pack it at the warehouse, or is wine shipping going to pick it up from you and we're going to pack it at our warehouse? Either way works just fine. Both have their advantages. We'll call it a pre-pack. Now you choose your carrier service, the shipping site. Now this is important too, right? The requested ship date is kind of a moot thing. It's really for you, right, to manage when you're going to be moving orders over to just in time. But the moment that we actually take possession of that package, we don't honor requested ship date. So if you've given us a just in time package, that means you want us to ship it, and it's going to go out either the same day or the next business day. Add your items. Hit next. And then it's time to add your field in. Will be go with my sister. And hit next. And create your just-in-time order. So, you know, those are the new fields that you can, you know, that the system will ask you about. Now, you can edit an order to just-in-time. So let's show you what that looks like. So I know that this particular order is on a fulfillment hold. It's come into my system. And I know that I'm going to have put in that special sign bottle that wine shipping doesn't have. So I'm going to tell it that instead of it being a retail order, it's a just-in-time order. And so we've just come over here and hit save. Now it's going to say, oh, you changed it to just-in-time. Well, tell us, are you picking it up or are you dropping it off? Well, I'm going to drop it off, and but I want you to pack it, and hit save and confirm the changes. So super easy peasy here. Okay, last one to show you is how to split an order, right? So if we come out of here, let's take a look at this order. So this order has 17 bottles in it, and I want to split it. So before, actually, let me call this out in case you haven't tried to use split and you're like, where did it go? Split used to be here. But you know what? We started to think about, this is really our bulk editing changing area. And to bulk edit things, splitting an order isn't bulk editing. It's really just an order edit. So we've moved it. So to split an order, you're going to click in, and then you're going to go to the three little dots here on the top. And you're going to split the order. And so now you have this UI. So we can see here, right? I have one bottle of this and one bottle of this. So there's only way to split out those, right, is to just say, oh, I want that to go on this order. But you have 15 of this. So if you want to split, parse it out, it's really simple. You're just going to come over here and say, yeah, I'm going to have these 4 bottles go. Oh, oops, I did the whole thing. these 4 bottles. There you go. That's tricky. I made that mistake more than once. This button puts all of the inventory to the right. This button takes the targeted amount. Made that mistake at least 4 times yesterday. So it will become second nature the more I do it. So you just confirm the split. Now it's really important to also know that as long as you carry the order structure .1, .2, .3, right, as you split orders, we are working on functionality so that when we update Ship Compliant or Commerce 7 stores, when we send the tracking back, that it will send the tracking number as long as it followed the naming convention of .1 from the original order. So that is, we're working on that functionality. We heard you, we're working on it. Okay, last and certainly not least is about address book. And we'll come over here and you can just see over here under my locations, my delivery address is, you know, I don't have one in the system, but you know, because this is my made up winery. But if I did, it was a real winery, my address would be populated right over here. And that's what we have in our system. We also have helped, you know, default, right? The Napa warehouse is my main warehouse that I ship out of. And so, you know, really easy to be creating those return to winery orders or winery pickup orders. Okay, I am coming to the end of my demo. What type of questions do I have?
Thanks, Karen. Emily here. So we have a couple of questions so far. So if the customer requests a pickup hold themselves through UPS My Choice, are they still charged the fee upon pickup?
As long as they do it, I mean, I think we have to be clear about people understanding what the hold at locations are for UPS. For the most part, those are privately owned franchised. So they shouldn't be charged if they use it through UPS My Choice. UPS will probably, if they don't have that premier UPS My Choice account, you know, they might charge them a $10 redirect fee, something like that. And then in theory, they shouldn't be charged when they go pick it up. But again, those are privately owned locations, and I've seen people get charged. It's not what they're not supposed to be, and then you got to go through the whole fighting process, which is very unpleasant for everyone involved. So if you want my opinion, I'm going to tell you, if you want to be utilizing a lot of hold at locations, FedEx has the superior pickup location system over UPS. That's just my unsolicited, no one's paying me opinion.
Thanks, Karen. We have another question related to the UPS pickup location. So comment, great stuff. Does the pickup location being blocked apply to both UPS and FedEx or just UPS?
Just UPS. FedEx is working just perfectly. So you can redirect through Awesome Client Portal for FedEx. You cannot redirect to a whole pickup location for UPS.
Thanks, Karen. I'm not seeing any other questions, but if anybody does have questions, please feel free to enter them in and I'll send them over to Karen.
Awesome. Okay, well, I have a few more things to talk about just before we're wrapping up here. And that is, I want to celebrate my team, right? Wine Shipping has really put in a lot of, we've just really committed to your learning and understanding. So we've built a training team. It's myself and Katie and Brandon. And if you haven't met them yet, please join our training sessions. They're open to our newly onboarding clients and our existing clients. So we offer training now 2 times a day, which is huge, right? I will give a call out that if nobody has signed up for a training, we will cancel it 2 hours before the start time just to give my team's time back. But you can use this QR code. We offer training. We do a session called Ask the Expert. That's a live Q&A session. Anything about Awesome Client Portal or premium tracking, we're usually hosting those about once a week. We have an orders training. We have a training on shipments and inventory, reports and account preferences, using premium tracking reports and analytics. And then I have a couple specialty trainings that I'm putting on. So premium tracking marketing, just-in-time fulfillment, and wholesale. So this QR code will take you to our knowledge base, and you can register and see what trainings are available and when. And then there's also a downloadable calendar, right? So that you can just download the calendar and see what trainings you want. This is really awesome too if you have new staff, right? And you're just like, this is how to work with wine shipping to go through their training. We have a specialized joke. You heard me talk about just-in-time today. If you're curious to learn more about just-in-time and how it works, I just gave a small flavor of the program. I am doing a training dedicated just to just-in-time, where I will talk about the service and how to use the service and how to get enrolled in the service and take advantage of it. So join our training. It's this Thursday, May 8th at 1:30, and that QR code will take you to the direct registration link. So please join and come learn with me. I'm also doing one on the 9th of this week that I will cover in depth about our temperature controlled service and the Awesome Client Portal features around temperature control. So how to manage your orders and give your customers the best experience and be able to ship, as many months of the year as possible. So that session will be on May 9th at 1:30. And then the last one is if you are curious about wanting to level up your premium tracking use, I will be doing a session called Premium Tracking Marketing, really focusing on segmentation and how to really elevate your branded tracking pages and emails to really get the most out of your post-purchase communication. So that is next week, and it is at 9:30 on May 13th. So that QR code will take you to the direct registration link to that training. So I'm committed to you guys learning and understanding our tools. So we're here for you. We know it's a lot of new stuff, and join us. If you don't want to join a webinar, take a look at my Learning Academy that I have. So it's learning.wineshipping.com. It is connected to our regular knowledge base that is filled with training videos that I have been filming over the last year, so you can learn at your own pace. And if you would like to give me feedback on how I'm doing on these webinars, please use that QR code and give me some feedback on my webinars. And again, I have any opportunity to answer any questions someone might have. We can do it now too.
Great. Karen, it looks like one question poured in related to temp control, if I can ask it.
Sure.
Is North Dakota no longer temp control?
North Dakota is not temp control. Really fell out of our guidelines of what that temp control service is there for, right? Temp control service is really, it needs to be able to reach the end customer within 48 hours of being at the hub. And that's not the case. It takes longer than 48 hours to move from the hub to North Dakota. So we removed it because it was out of our guidelines.
Thanks, Karen. It concludes the questions that I have.
Okay.
Or actually, one just poured in. Got it. Thank you. So thanks, Karen.
Okay, you're welcome. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to learn with me. As always, Karen Strakowski, Director of Client Success. Hopefully I'll see you at a training sooner than a month from now, but otherwise I'll see you again next month. Have a wonderful spring.